So, welcome to DETV. Today, my guest is Eric Lamascus. He's the CEO and the founder of Elite Construction Services in California, and they've been doing a lot of great jobs, efficient, time efficient, and at the same time, a lot of attention to the details in the project they've been doing. Eric, you've been working on ADU project quite a lot, and I want to tap into your expertise in that field. Do you see ADU as a way to solve the housing crisis in California?
Absolutely. It's a very low cost method of getting additional housing on property. So it's a very good thing.
And do you see there's a demand for it? Do you see people understand the benefits of it?
There's definitely a demand here in California. Housing has been at a shortage for a long period of time. ADUs in the past have been a little difficult to make happen. We're still trying to educate the public about what can be done, what it'll cost, and so on. But it's work in progress. We're getting there.
Oh, so these are sounds like challenges that you are facing in terms of getting people to work on ADUs. How do you think you can overcome these kind of challenges?
I think just getting the information out there. A lot of people still don't even know what ADU stands for. So it's an education system, and we're doing what we can. There are other companies out there similar to ours that recognize this as a great opportunity for business, in addition to being able to provide housing, which in California, everybody needs it.
So you've been talking about educating people, but do you see any role for the government or administration to help you in that sense?
The government has started doing some things leading toward that. You'll read a lot in the media about the new laws that went into effect in 2020, where it's making things easier to build. They could do more. It's just, I think the momentum needs to get there, and we're not quite there yet, but we are getting closer, and the government is helping with that.
For someone, as you said, who hasn't have any idea about what ADU is, could you explain a little bit?
Sure. An ADU is basically a second home on a lot that's already got a main home. So it could be as easy as converting a garage inside the main property, making that an accessory dwelling unit, or you could build a detached building, then that becomes your ADU, or you can build an addition to the property. So those are the three primary ways of getting an ADU built. Each one has its own set of rules that you have to deal with, and we're up to speed on what those rules are. So we're able to make it a pretty seamless process.
Do you have any tips for someone who's just going to look into this and try to find out if it's suitable for them or not?
I think you need to align yourself with someone that can help you through the design and the build part of it. So often we get projects where they've been just handed to us and the design is already done and they've never at any point interfaced with the actual builder. Then they find out the price tag. And if they had done a little better alignment from the beginning, they would have known before the design was finished that it was going to cost $200,000 or whatever it was going to cost. And that's a good thing to know before you spend $10,000 on design.
You have experience in automation, which is quite a rare thing to find right now in construction or AC in general in housing in California and all around the world. Do you have any tips or any experiences that you brought from your former expertise to the new scene that you've been working? It's not new anymore, but you have a really good background in automation as well.
Sure. My actual background, I did have a 20-year career as an automation engineer. And what I gained from that I'm able to apply toward the construction is mostly about having systems in place so that you get repeatable results. So that's where automation is very useful in the construction industry. We are getting ready to see the next step, which I think is 3D printing of houses. That might be 5 to 8 years out, but that will be true automation of housing creation. So I'm pretty excited about looking into that as soon as the bugs are worked out on the printers.
That's quite an interesting topic to talk about. Let's get into it a little bit more.
Sure.
Explain what is to expect in 10 years and how it would look like.
I think automation needs a couple of things for it to work in the housing industry. It'll be very difficult to do automation in remodeling because in order to automate things, you need a similar set of rules each time you go into a project. And so if you're trying to take your automatic process into somebody's house and convert that space using whatever automation technology is available, it's very difficult to do because each time you move from project to project, your setup time is going to kill you. So what you really need, and where I think the automation is going to come into play, are those detached buildings, the ADUs that I mentioned, where they're not actually part of the house. And so you can go in, set up a gantry system in one day, then you start printing the house and you just monitor that process as opposed to trying to, like I said, do those setups on those one-off projects. That's just not feasible. I think another part where you are going to see this 3D printing come to play are large tract developments where you have a swath of land, you're going to build 50 homes. Each one could still be unique, but they're separated enough that you can automate that process and move from one project to the next project to the next project. So I think it's going to take about 5 to 10 years to get the cost of the technology down and to get the systems in place so that we all get to enjoy this benefit. But I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to being part of that.
It's interesting because nowadays, whenever we mention automation, there's a part of the workforce that gets into panic that like they're going to lose jobs. There's going to be like a lot less job for people in the construction industry. What is your point of view on that?
I think that's always been a fear in society in general. If you go all the way back to the 1800s, before things became automated and before you had assembly lines, there was a lot of pushback. Oh, you're going to take these jobs. But in reality, what happens is it creates a field of newer, higher paying, mid-level jobs. If you look at the automotive industry as an example, clearly tons of automation have gone into that. But you now have these higher paying jobs for people servicing the equipment, and you're able to reduce the cost to the end user. So yes, there will be some low-level jobs that will get lost. But on the other hand, you are going to create a new industry that we can't even see yet. We don't even know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be another positive step for all of us.
It's been quite interesting and informative interview, Eric. Is there any other points you want to raise?
You know what I'm looking forward to are the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be an exciting time for all of us in the industry. I think we're going to solve some of the societal problems that exist between the combination of automation, the government finally cooperating on housing to make it easier to put this stuff in place, and everything else that's moving. I see it as progress, and my employees and me, we are very excited about the future, and we're looking forward to the next 10 years.
Lovely to talk to you, Eric. It's been quite a pleasure and informative interview. Eric Lamascus, the CEO and the founder of Elite Construction Services in California. Have a lovely day.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Negin. Thank you very much for the interview, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Stay safe.